Hello everybody and welcome to my video. Today I'm gonna show you how to create a cool analytical tool like this. But our challenge is to create this tool in less than 7 minutes and just use simple Excel functionalities. But first we need an example. This example is provided by Microsoft Northwind. Northwind is a fictive company which sells food products all around the world. I just exported the table of orders. Let's discover this table. Each line is an order line where a quantity of product is ordered by a customer. The valuation of the order line is in the column Extended Price. We can see many columns in this table and we must make a choice regarding the analysis. I propose to focus our analysis on the following fields: customer, country, salespersons, and order date. We begin by creating a pivot table. First, we select all the table. In the ribbon, we go to Insert and we choose Pivot Table. A box appears. We decide to create this pivot table in a new worksheet. I'm going to rename this worksheet. To create this pivot table, I'm going to drag and drop the field in rows and the values in values. Let's rename the headers. To change the revenue number format, right-click, choose Number Format. Now I'm going to change the design of my pivot table. Let's choose a blue style. As I plan to have many results, I'm going to duplicate this pivot table one time and a second time. On the two new pivot tables, I need to change the rows. I want to create an analysis by salesperson, by country, and by customer. Of course, I need to rename the headers. As I plan to insert some slicers on top, I need to insert some rows. As I want to see my key influencers on top of each pivot table, I'm going to sort descending by revenue. Let's go to More Sort Options. We choose Descending and we select Revenue. And we do the same for the two other pivot tables. We see that the pivot table is adjusting the size of the columns. We will see later how to deactivate this function. Let's insert a column and adjust the column size. It's time to go to Pivot Table Options. We deactivate AutoFit column with On Update. And we repeat this action on the two other pivot tables. Now let's insert data bars. For this we have to go to Conditional Formatting. It's important to select all the elements but not the grand total. We are going to insert the slicers. First, we insert a timeline based on order date. We assign a new style to this object. We insert the slicers. We are going to choose customer, country and salesperson. To select all the slicers, we use Ctrl-Shift-Select. And in a single action, we assign a new style to the 3 slicers. Now we work on the new objects. We move them. We enlarge the slicers. As we want to add new columns in slicers, right-click on the slicers, Size and Properties. In the part Position and Layout, you can set the numbers of columns you want. Once this action done for all the slicers, we can align all the objects. First, we select all the objects by Ctrl, Shift and click. In the ribbon, go to Format, choose Align, Align Top. And to get a better look of this spreadsheet, ribbon View and check Grid Lines. We also select the row just below the headers of the pivot tables and refreeze panes. Now it's time to test our slicers. Unfortunately, my slicers only filter one single pivot table. To repair it, I select the slicer, I go to Options, Report Connection, and I connect to the 3 existing pivot tables. I do the same for the 2 other slicers and the timeline. Now let's retest. I select the first salesperson. Let's have a look to the country slicer. At the end of the slicer, you see countries with no data. In my current case, I dislike this behavior. That's why I'm going to change this behavior. First, I select the slicers and I go to the slicer settings. I check Hide items with no data. Now to finalize, let's do a real test. We are going to analyze Germany on 1996. That's cool. We can see the top sellers. We can see also the top customers. For example, I want to focus on Nancy Davolio. So I go to the slicer salesperson and I select Nancy Davolio to easily see the customers of Nancy on Germany. And of course, that's a pivot table. So if you want to get a detail, you just have to double click inside the pivot table. The tool is now created in less than 7 minutes, but that's not the most important thing. For me, the most important thing is the fact that you have now the skills to create such a tool. So, if you want this video to be useful, find your own example and try it. See you on the next video. Bye.